boy found a dog.
The boy found a dog.
And he went back to his house and the dog kept following him.
Very true. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Anybody have anything to add?
And the boy named the dog Shiloh.
Yeah, that's an important part. Definitely. All right. So can we all turn to chapter 2? All right, here we go. Sunday night supper is whatever's left from noon. If nothing's left over, Ma takes cold cornmeal mush, fries up big slabs, and we eat it with Caro syrup. What do you guys think Caro syrup is? I never heard of that before. Yeah? Do you have a guess?
Maple syrup, like a different kind of maple.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually a homemade syrup, and it's really, really sweet. So when you're walking around in the grocery store and you see Caro syrup, you'll know, oh, it's just extra sweet syrup. Thanks, Shiloh. But this night there's still rabbit. I don't want any, but I know Shiloh does. I wonder how long I can keep pushing that piece of rabbit around my plate. Not very long, I discover. You going to eat that meat, or just going to play with it, Deadass? If you don't want it, I'll take it for lunch tomorrow. I'll eat it, I say. Don't you be giving it to that dog, says Ma. I take a tiny bite. What's a doggy going to eat then? Asks Becky. She's 3, which is 4 years younger than Darla Lynn. Sorry. Nothing here, that's what, says Ma. Becky and Darla look at Dad. Now I had them feeling sorry for the beagle too. Sometimes girl children get what they want easier than I do, but not this time. Dog's going right back across the river when we get through eating, says Dad. If that's Judd's new dog, he probably won't have sense enough yet to find his way home again. We'll put him in the Jeep and drive him over. Don't know what else I figured Dad to say. Do I really think he's going to tell me to wait till morning, and if the beagle's still here, we can keep him? I try all kinds of ways to figure out how I could get that rabbit meat off my plate and into my pocket, but Ma's watching every move I make. So I excuse myself and go outside and over to the chicken coop. It's off toward the back where Ma can't see. We keep 3 hens, and I take one of the 2 eggs that was in the nest and carry it out behind the bushes. I whistle softly. Shiloh comes lopping toward me. I crack the egg and empty it out in my hands. Hold my hands down low, and Shiloh eats the egg. I lick my hands clean, licking my hands clean afterwards. Then, curling his tongue between my fingers to get every little bit. Ew, that dog eats everything, even a raw egg. Who has a dog who will eat anything?
Yep.
I know I do. So you guys can relate to this.
Yep.
Good boy, Shiloh, I whisper, stroke him all over. I hear the back screen slam, and Dad comes out on the stoop. Marty? Yeah? I go around, Shiloh at my heels. Let's take that dog back home now. Dad goes over and opens the door of the Jeep. Shiloh puts his tail between his legs and just stands there. So I go around to the other side, get in, and whistle. Shiloh leaps up onto my lap, but he don't look too happy about it. For the first time, I have my arms around him. He feels warm, and when I stroke him, I can feel places on his body where he has ticks. Dog has ticks, I tell my dad. Judd'll take him off, Dad says. What if he don't? It's his concern, Marty, not yours. It's not your dog. You keep to your own business. I press myself against the back of the seat as we start down our bumpy dirt driveway toward the road. I want to be a vet someday, I tell my dad. He says. I want to be a traveling vet, the kind that has his office in a van and goes around to people's homes. Don't make folks come to him. Read about it in a magazine at school. You know what you have to do to be a vet, Dad asked. Gotta go to school, I know that. You've got to have college training, like a doctor almost. Takes a lot of money to go to veterinary school. My dream sort of leaks out like water in a paper bag. Water in a paper bag? What does that exactly mean? Water in a paper bag? Yeah.
Water in a paper bag, it just makes the bag all mushy and
Yeah, exactly. Like imagine if you put water in a paper bag, what would happen? It would kind of leak out or break. Sane's dreams are a lot like that. All right. Like, let's see. My dream sort of leaks out like water in a paper bag. I could be a veterinarian's helper, I suggest, my second choice. You maybe could, says Dad, and points the Jeep up the road into the hills. Dusk is settling in now, still warm though. A warm July night. Trees look dark against the red sky. Lights coming on in a house here, another one there. I'm thinking how in any one of these houses, there's probably someone who would take better care of Shiloh than Judd Travers would. How come this dog had to be his? The reason I don't like Judd Travers is a whole lot of reasons. Not the least is that I was in the corner store once down in Friendly and saw Judd cheat Mr. Wallace at the cash register. Judd gives the man a 10 and gets him to talking, then, when Mr. Wallace gives him change, says he gave him a 20. I blink like I can't believe Judd done that, and old Mr. Wallace is all confused. So I say, "No, I think he gave you a 10. Judd glares at me, whips out his wallet, waves a $20 bill in front of my eye. "Whose picture's on this bill, boy?" he says. "I don't know." He gives me a look, says, "I thought so." "That's Andrew Jackson," he says. "I had 2 of them in my wallet when I walked in here, and now I only got 1. This here man's got the other, and I want my change." Mr. Wallace, he's so flustered he just digs in his money drawer and gives Judge change for a 20. And afterward, I thought, what did Andrew Jackson have to do with it? Judd's so fast-talking, he can get away with anything. Don't know anybody who likes him much. But around here, folks keep to their business, like Dad says. In Tyler County, that's important. Way it's always been anyhow. Another reason I don't like Judd Travers is he spits tobacco out the corner of his mouth, and if he don't like you, and he sure don't like me, he just sees how close he can spit to where you're standing. The third reason I don't like him is because he was at the fairgrounds last year, same day we were, and seemed like every place I was, he was in front of me, blocking my view. Do you want to answer your phone? No? Okay. Standing in front of me at the mud bog, sitting in front of me at the tractor pull, and raising right up out of his seat at the Jordan Globe of Death motorcycle lap, so's I missed the best part. Fourth reason I don't like him is because he kills deer out of season. He says he don't, but I seen him once, just about dusk, with a young buck strapped over the hood of his truck. He tells me the buck run in front of him in the road, and he accidentally run it over. But I saw the bullet hole myself. If he got caught, he'd have to pay $200. More than he's got in the bank, I bet. So, what are the 4 reasons that Marty doesn't like Judd? You guys can look back in the book if you're not exactly sure. Yes?
When he was at the fairground, he stood up and blocked his view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he hunts deer out of season. And he cheated the guy at the store.
Yeah, that's a big one. Would you like to phone a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want to call on?
And he spits tobacco out.
Yeah, he tries spitting people. Yeah, very true. And he doesn't like him. Nice work, guys. So what does this tell us about Judd's character? That he does all this stuff.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
Very true. Do you think he'd be a good owner for a dog?
No.
I agree. Good point. We're in Shiloh now. Dad's crossing the bridge by the old abandoned gristmill, turning at the boarded-up school, and for the first time I can feel Shiloh's body beginning to shake. He's trembling all over. I swallow. Try to say something to my dad, and have to swallow again. Why do you guys think Shiloh is shaking? What does that mean? Yeah. Yeah, very true. He doesn't want to go back there. Anybody have any ideas why? I doesn't want to go back there.
Because he's probably really mean to the dog.
Very true. From the stories that we've heard about Judd, he doesn't sound like a great guy. Try to say something to my dad and have to swallow again. How do you go about reporting someone who don't take care of his dog right? I ask finally. Who you fixing to report, Marty? Judd. If this dog's mistreated, he's only about 1 out of 50,000 animals, that is, Dad says. Folks bring him up here in the hills and let him out. Figure they can live on rats and rabbits. Wouldn't be the first dog that wasn't treated right. But I knew this one come to me to help him, I insist. Knew that's why he was following me. I got hooked on him, Dad, and I want to know he's treated right. For the first time, I can tell Dad's getting impatient with me. Now, you get that out of your head right now. If it's Trevor's dog, it's no mind of ours how he treats it. What if it was a child, I asked him, getting too smart for my own good. If some kid was shaking like this dog is shaking, you wouldn't feel no pull for keeping an eye on him? Marty, Dad says, and now his voice is plumb tired. This here's a dog, not a child, and it's not our dog. I want you to quit going on about it. Here? I shut up then. Let my hands run over Shiloh's body, like maybe everywhere I touch I can protect him somehow. We're getting closer to the trailer where Judd lives with his other dogs, and already they're barking up a storm, hearing Dad's Jeep come around the road.